Okay, so we want to do 12.4 number 19, which is graph g of x is minus 2x, thinking of the function we know as f of x is x, which we know is a line with what now? What was f of x was x again? It's a linear function with slope and intercept. Intercept 0, slopes 1, right? Okay, so again, I might think to myself, okay, there's a line that goes through 0, 0, and 1, 1, like this, right? Okay, I'm supposed to think about this guy, graph this, thinking of that. So how do I do that?
Multiply the y coordinates by -2.
Oh, okay. We could think about, right? We could just kind of think about this as f then multiply by -2, right? Okay. Or we could think f then multiply by -1, then multiply by multiply by what? 2, right? You guys all see that? So if I think about it this way, what's the -1 do? Yeah. Flips everything over. And then what's the 2 do? Stretches it out by a factor of 2. You guys see that? Okay, so we could think, all right, it starts like that, right? So we're kind of starting with this picture. Then we flip it over, right? That's our multiply by -1. It's our flip. So we get this picture. Where'd the point I know about go? I had 1, 1 on there. Where'd it go now?
1 negative.
1 minus 1. And then I need to multiply by 2, right? So what's multiplying by 2 do? So this way or this way? Yeah, it's vertical, right? Not this way. This way. Okay, so where does this guy go?
-1, -2.
Okay, that's where the other one goes. Wait, -1?
1 minus 2.
1 minus 2. Right, we're only changing the
1 minus 2. Minus 2.
right. We're changing the y coordinate. It's a vertical stretch that's happening here. Right? So really I shouldn't write times 2, right? I should write vertical stretch by 2. And here instead of writing multiply by 1, right? What do I mean by multiply by 1? Flip. Very nice. Okay, where'd the other point go though? We got that one.
Still 0, 0.
Yeah, 0, 0 is still 0, 0, right? Vertical stretch doesn't do anything to the middle, right? You guys with me on that? Okay, this is one way to think. What's the other way to think, looking at this thing? I might think to myself, M is and B is, right? Yeah, in terms of a line, right? B is 0 and M is -2 over 1. You guys all see that? So that's saying, all right, start at 0, 0, right? B is 0. Okay, so I start here. Then I go over 1, down 2. Cool. Same picture, right? I should get the same picture. If I didn't get the same picture, there would be a problem. Does this help? Questions, concerns, things? Why are you raising your hand?
I have a question. Oh, I'm sorry. What would, so if G was something else, the y-intercept or B would be like 1, or it could be, that would be the point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
you could substitute G or X on the left side for another number other than 0.
So I could think to myself, okay, like if we had a different function, right? Like say h of x is minus 2x plus 3, right?
Yes.
I could think about this as, right, from a bubble diagram, I might think, okay, the function I know about is x, right? Okay, so there's x goes to x, right? This doesn't really do much. This is my f, that function I know about. Then the next thing that happens to an x in here is I multiply it by -1, right? That get, or maybe you think multiply by 2 probably, right? Multiply by 2 makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
So then I get to 2x. Then the next thing I do is multiply by -1, right? You guys see that? When I put an x in, I multiply it by 2, then I make that number negative, right? So I put an x in, multiply by 2, make it negative, then what do I do? Yeah, add 3 to it, right? So that'll get me to my end result. So this whole thing, that's my h, beginning to end. And I might think to myself, in terms of flipping, right? Or in terms of these function shifting rules, this is the rule I know about. So everything's happening after, right? Guys following? And then what are they? Let's multiply by 2 after. Okay, that's a stretch by 2. It's, what kind of stretch is it? Vertical? How about this guy? Multiply by -1 gives me a, yeah, vertical flip. Very nice. And add 3 is a shift.
Yeah.
Okay, so one, it's either up or down, right? How do you know it's either up or down?
Because it's after.
Yeah, because it's happening after the rule. Okay, now I have to remember. Okay, after the rule, things work.
They should.
No, they work the way I think they should. And adding should go up. Okay? So this is up 3, right? So I get this picture, right? That'd be my flip, my vertical stretch, and then this next one is move everything up 3 units, right? So I just take this whole picture and scoot it up. What does that amount to? Well, that amounts to changing the y-intercept, right? Moving it 3 units up. I should get the same thing, right? So I might also, instead of going through this business for the line, I might just look at this and think, m's -2 over 1, b's 3, right? Okay, so if b's 3, that means I start at 0 and 3, and then I go for the m. What's the m mean?
Slopes, you go.
It's rise over run, so I go over 1, down 2, or down 2, over 1, whatever. So I get to here. Bam. That's the exact same picture I'd get if I took this one and moved up 3 units. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
So for the lines, right, this isn't new, it's just different and probably way harder. That's okay. This should be way harder for lines. Lines are easy. Right? When you think this way, at least, lines should feel easy. Shoot. Okay, so to review lines, right, that's thinking, okay, I have some formula, right? It goes y is mx plus b. Except I took y's away from you, right? And I said function rules. So instead of saying y, I said f of x is mx plus b. Right? So I kind of took this one, and I said instead we'll talk about f of x is mx plus b. What's the difference between these two things? I made it scarier by putting this F on there. I wanted you to think about rules instead of coordinates. So that's why we changed. Cool? Everybody remember these? Sorry, that should have come at the beginning. I didn't realize that would be a sticking point. Cool? Other questions? Okay.